Hey guys, what's up and welcome back. Today we're going to be continuing our Askar D1 and D2 filter series, and if you've missed the first video where we just tested out to see what type of image quality we'd get from these filters, I'll put that link in the description, so make sure you check that out. But today we're going to be testing the halos on these two filters, and as promised, because we kind of came up short last time, we didn't get to really test out the D2 filter, which is the sulfur 2 filter in this set. WR134 in that area is very low signal in S2, so we are going to be selecting a target rich in S2 and also has bright stars in it. And I think that target is going to be Satyr and the butterfly nebula within it. I think what I'm going to do is frame up the Crescent Nebula because I have this gigantic field of view with my Zenithstar Z61 and also in combination with my 071 MC. But one other thing that I really wanted to do was make my night a lot easier. And how I'm doing that is introducing a little bit more automation. So I actually bought a second filter wheel for this rig, and I got the ZWO 5-position 2-inch filter wheel, and I actually have it installed. So let me show you that. All right, here's the little guy, and it's definitely grown a little bit since you've seen it last. Still have my EAF on here, version 1, but here's the new addition to that. So here's my filter wheel with my 071 on here, and I'll be using it to switch out my filters throughout the night. I think it's going to make my imaging experience a lot easier. I do enjoy shooting with a filter wheel on my Askar 103 build, but yeah, I just kind of want to set it and forget it tonight. The only problem with that is my mount is off balance, and since I'm using the Skywatcher GTI for this series, I had to make something. I actually had to modify this counterweight bar, and what I did was I printed a 52mm counterweight bar extension, and this is made of PTEG. So it's very strong, but I don't know if you can see that, I put threads on the end of this here, and I also threaded it in here for the toe saver, and it just threads in like anything else. Maybe, wait. I swear it threads in here. Okay, here it is. All right, here's that. And then my toe saver just threads in like this. So now I have 52mm, which is exactly the length I needed to balance my mount out. So I'm going to be testing this counterweight bar extension tonight. So hopefully it survives the night and works the way it's intended. If it doesn't, I might have to buy another counterweight, but I kind of wanted to avoid carrying anything extra out into the field. So this is where this comes in. So hopefully I'll be able to push the weights down farther and balance it out, which here in my living room actually looks pretty darn good. So I guess there's only one thing left to do, guys, and let's get on out there and shoot some halos. All right, guys, we are up and running. We're down here. I got kind of a late start, but check out this sky. Super duper clear, but it's bright. I'm like right in the middle of the light dome down here. It's gotten brighter over the years. It's crazy. But I am definitely imaging right now, and everything is going a-okay. So excited to see what these filters do, what type of halos we're gonna get, because Satyr is a pretty bright star, so we'll see. All right, here's my extension for my weights. Working pretty darn good, actually, because that filter wheel was a little bit heavier than I thought, but that 3D printed extension just kind of came to the rescue. Alright guys, I just got a few subs back, and it's so weird getting color narrowband data back, but here is what the D1 filter looks like. And the halos, this is 4 minutes, okay, on the D1 filter. And the halos are really, really well controlled, especially around this bright star here. You know what's weird I'm noticing is the HA signal is, at least in my opinion, really weak. I know it's going to turn out actually okay, you know, through stacking, but I'm used to getting such really strong HA signal in monochrome. Right, I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. But Cygnus is way up there right now. So I'm probably getting some amazing signal. And I'm getting really nice tracking through my Skywatcher GTI right now, which surprises me with the added weight, but I'm not complaining. But it is an amazing night right now. No moon, so it's new moon night, and probably the best scenario to get color narrowband data. Man, I am really enjoying automation right now. Oh yeah. Two o'clock in the morning, and I gotta tell you, imaging has been really nice tonight. I really haven't touched my scope at all. It's just been kind of doing its thing. It's kind of like back in the day, you know, when I was going full auto on everything. Kind of missed it a little bit. I think I've needed this here for a little while. Getting spoiled out here with all that. Right, I am done for the evening, taking my last set of flats. I'm gonna go get some sleep. So I guess this is good night. You know, when you have a really great imaging night, you kind of question if anything went wrong. Because last night was really easy to acquire data. I mean, I'm shooting in one-shot color number 1. And I had full auto going on my scope. And everything just went perfectly. Even my counterweight bar situation worked out really well. Didn't have any problems with guiding. It was just an amazing night. But before we get into the data, guys, there's a few of you have reached out and asked since my last video, hey, how do you separate your channels? Because you guys saw me separate my channels in PixInsight, right? But I didn't actually show how I did that. And I'm going to give you 2 ways of doing it. For those of you that don't have PixInsight and you guys are using Photoshop, let me pull up Photoshop here really quick. Here's Photoshop, and I pre-stretched this for you, the data. And the thing you want to do, after you pre-stretch it, all you're going to need to do is go into your channels, and you're just going to select one channel, right? So we're going to turn RGB off, and we're just going to focus on the red channel, which is our HA channel. Now, since we're shooting in dual narrowband, the O3 channels are in green and the O3 channel is actually in blue. So let's take a look at the hydrogen channel. So all you would need to do is copy it, and I'm just going to hit well, I do Mac, so it's Command A. For Windows users, it's Control A. But I'm just going to select that, and I'm just going to hit Command C or Control C for Windows. And then I'm going to open up a new file so we can paste that channel to it. And I'm going to just hit Create. And we're going to make sure that our image is in RGB color. And I'm just going to paste this into the red channel right here. Boom. And there you are. So you're free to edit your hydrogen alpha channel, and then you would do the same thing for your O3. Now, since there's two O3 channels, or actually if you shoot with both the D1 and D2 filter, after you separate your channels, you would need to also restack that so you'd get one O3 master frame. So just know that you would do that if you don't have PixInsight. PixInsight is a lot easier. All you would need to do is bring it up in Pix, and here's my master light frame. And our master light frame, all you got to do is come up here and hit split RGB channels. I'm not even going to stretch it. I'm just going to straight split the channel right here. So let's do that. And it's going to separate those channels out with one click. I mean, it's that easy. And let's take a look at our hydrogen alpha here. And this is our red channel, right? And I'm just going to use a down and dirty screen transfer function, and I'm just going to hit it right here. Boom. Here's our HA, right? And it looks pretty fantastic, actually. I think that PixInsight is a little bit more accurate than Photoshop because you are stretching it yourself in Photoshop. Number one, it's faster in Pix, and I find that I kind of arrive almost at this stretch, but if you do work on it in Photoshop, you can get it to look like this. Now let's take a look at our O3 channels, right? So here is the green channel. Let's do another STF stretch. Boom. So here's our first O3 channel, and then here's our last O3 channel, which is the blue channel right here. So we're going to do that over again. And then after I save this stretch, what I would do is use image integration in PixInsight and just combine all my O3 channels. And I would have 4 O3 channels because remember, on the D2, you'll be shooting sulfur 2, which is in your red channel. And then you would be shooting, again, green and blue. The O3 would be contained in those 2 channels. And then I just use image integration in PixInsight to integrate that O3 and make a master frame. So hopefully that helps some of y'all. And also, you guys have been asking about Taco. You know, how is Taco doing? Well, let me go grab the little guy so you can see what he's up to. All right, here's the little guy right over here. He's still shy being on this desk, actually. He's getting better. He does jump up here when the camera isn't rolling, but for whatever the reason is, when the camera's rolling, he's just really shy about things. So Taco is doing really well. He's enjoying his summer. And he's actually getting a lot of sleep, and I'm a little jealous of how much sleep this guy gets. Why are you so shy? Why are you so shy again? Do you want to say hi? All right, he's gone. All right, now that I have a whole bunch of hair on my table, I'm sorry. Do you want to know what this is? This is my little blower brush that I got off Amazon. And it's really handy for doing what I'm doing now, cleaning my desk. But what I generally use it for is blowing dust motes off my image sensor. I find myself not wet cleaning my sensors as much with doing this, and it's really handy out in the field. If you don't have this, see, here's a mote on this filter here. It just straight blows it off. So if you don't have one of these, you need to get one. This is like an astrophotographer's best friend right here. So I'll put a link in the description for mine, but I just got it off Amazon. It was like $20, $30. So it's definitely worth getting, especially if you're out in the field. So blower brush, get one. All right, now let's go look at our data. So let me close these out really quick. I won't need these anymore. Probably don't need that. All right. So I already separated out all my data into master frames. So I have an HA master frame, I have an O3 master frame, and I have an S2 master frame. So let's go take a look at them. And we're going to try and find some halos around the bright star of Satyr. Satyr is pretty bright. So let's take a look at it. Here's our HA. And whew, let's take a look at Satyr. So this is pretty common for this star. This is not a halo. This is just the light reflecting off of the nebula itself. But if I'm looking at it, I don't really see a halo here. That's amazing. It's a really soft, glowy kind of look, and that's something I look for in a filter and also my own astrophotography. I want my stars to be glowy. I don't want them pinpoint sharp because they just like look like dots on a screen, right? I want them to look like stars, so I want them as soft as possible. And this is really nice, and this is stretched, by the way. I worked on the HA before I combined everything. So this is what I came up with. And can we give it up for the Zenithstar Z61 on an APS-C sensor? The stars are very controlled. And are you guys impressed because I remembered this time to tighten my rotator? Because I did. But yeah, here's our HA. It turned out really strong. And here's the Crescent Nebula down here in the corner. And that's looking really good too. The stars here are really controlled all over the place. Here's the smaller stars, and then the larger ones all just have a nice appearance to it. So that's what our HA looks like. Here's our O3 master frame. These are all 4 of the O3 channels extracted and also integrated together. And not bad. We did actually get a fair amount of signal, especially in the Crescent Nebula right here. This is probably the highest concentration of O3 is in the Crescent Nebula right here. Oh, not bad. And we still have the structure of the Butterfly Nebula and whatnot in here. So that's actually quite a bit. I'm impressed with this. And let's just check out Satyr real quick. Again, halos are looking great. Don't have to worry about that. And let's check out our S2, shall we? So here's our S2 master frame. And this is a lot of S2 data. See, I chose well, right? And we have a lot of the structure revealed. And also, let's take a look at the halos here. Looking really good. And here's a S2 in the Crescent Nebula. There's not a lot there, but there's still some, and it's picking it up here. So we're definitely getting channel separation through these filters. Now, let's also take a look at our individual subframes, because this calibrated out really well, but I wanted to show you guys some of the vignetting maybe that I got. So you guys know what to expect. I think that's really important. So let's open some of that up here. So here's a HA sub. Ooh, we did need screen transfer function again. So let me bring that up real quick. STF. Stretch again. All right, here we are. So this is uncalibrated. And really nice, actually. There's minimal vignetting here, especially on a APS-C sensor off my Z61. So these filters don't actually add any type of vignetting. I know some narrowband filters do. This looks really good. Let's take a look at our S2. All right, here's our S2. So this is our D2 filter. And not bad, right? Still not a lot of vignetting here. So side by side, here's our D1 filter and here's our D2 filter. Not bad. Single, uncalibrated. So these filters are doing really, really well. Okay. And now, let me close some of this out so I can show you my result, right? So here is my result in standard SHO, maybe, on the Butterfly Nebula. Wow, look at this. Oh my gosh. This is gorgeous, guys. And check out the contrast I got here. We got a lot of the dark nebula. I mean, it looks gorgeous, right? Here's Satyr. When it's integrated, still looking good. It's all glowy, right? And here's the Crescent Nebula down here. And we did get a lot of that O3 shell, but here's what I look for when I shoot the Crescent Nebula is the outer O3 here. We do need a little bit more exposure time, but it did capture it, which is great. And since we channel mapped everything, so we had S2 to red, we had hydrogen to green, and then we also had O3 to blue, we can see all the different gases separated really well. So here's our S2 region here, that's that deep red, and here's our HA signal here, which is supposed to be green, but I kind of messed with the tones, as you know I like to do, and made it this kind of mustard color, which I really like. And of course, there's O3 scattered around here, but it's mostly present in the Crescent Nebula. All right, guys, well, I guess there's only one thing left to do and enjoy my photo of the Butterfly Nebula, the Crescent Nebula, and also Satyr. All right, guys, well, I guess that's it for this one. In our next video, we're going to up the ante a little bit, and we're going to shoot in a faster focal ratio and see how well these filters do. So look forward to that one. And what do you think about the Askar D1 and D2 filters now that, we have 2 videos in this series? What do you think about it? Let me know down in the comments. All right, guys, well, I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.